Slain NYPD officer Jonathan Diller will be laid to rest on Long Island today.
Thousands of people from all over the country paying their respects this week, including former President Donald Trump.
We're going to bring in Fox and Friends co-host Brian Kilmeade, who is live in Massapequa, New York, ahead of the funeral for Officer Dillon. Brian?
Hey, guys. Yeah, well, I'm going to set the scene right now. I'm inside the Church of St. Rose of Lima, and all these pews will be filled up with about 800 friends and families and so many police officers from around the country. There's also a second level here. Let me just give you an idea of what Jonathan Diller's passing and the way he's lost his life has done to this town. For the last 3 days, this entire road has been shut down. It's Merrick Road, Long Island. And we understand, police officers coming in from as far as Dallas, Texas. They're coming in from Arkansas. They've got notice from Chicago. They expect maybe as many as 100,000 to come down. All this entire block is strewn with flags. 1/2 mile away is the funeral home. And in that funeral home, a lot of drama, a lot of emotion, especially with Stephanie, the 31-year-old widow of Jonathan Diller, who suddenly realizes she has a 1-year-old and is totally on her own. They made it clear, the family, they did not want politicians here that were not kind to the cops. This is a blue blood family. They got her brother is a police officer. Her uncle is a police officer. They are this town is full of firefighters and police officers. But that didn't stop Governor Hochul from showing up yesterday. She unfortunately did not have the patience to wait in the private family viewing with the casket open, and she wanted to storm her way in. Details clashed, and then the funeral director had to come in and quickly close the casket, at which time she got blasted by the family. And then you'll see some video, perhaps you'll roll it in now a little bit later, of her when she was out on the veranda being confronted by her grandfather, Jonathan Diller's grandfather's uncle, who says, I just have to tell you, your policies have put blood on your hands. The policies of this city, the policies of the state had cost Jonathan Diller his life. The emotions were raw when Alvin Bragg came in. Reportedly, he was blasted by friends and family because of his soft on crime policies. Clamped down on Danny Penny, try to put Donald Trump in jail, let criminals go wild. So those are some of the confrontations, some of the emotion, including Mayor Adams. He also heard some expletives thrown his way. He turned around, saw a sea of blue, and then he ended up going out again. So this is some of the drama that's taken this town, and it's really, really hit home because Jonathan Diller is the 9th police officer to lose his life in the line of duty, and he is one of the best with 70 collars, as well as 3 citations in just 3 years on the job. Now, I talked to Lee Zeldin last night, a very popular politician from this area, and I talked about the mindset of these politicians coming here thinking it's going to be a photo op. Listen.
When you get outside of New York City, the bluest counties in New York, whether it's Manhattan or Queens or Bronx or Brooklyn, there are a whole lot of other parts of this state that are red. They are more conservative. They are not happy with the far left policies coming out of a place like New York City or Albany or Washington, D.C.
To toss to Trump or not? So Lee Zeldin is somebody who got within 4 points of one of the governorship guys. But the guy that was accepted was the former president of the United States. Inside, the grandmother asked for a hug. Everybody broke into applause afterwards. He kissed the 1-year-old Ryan on his forehead, and he got a rousing welcome. And I talked to him after about what it meant for him to be here.
The family is devastated. The police force is devastated. The whole country feels this way, and it's happening more and more, and it's really a lack of respect for law and order, and we have to have law and order back in our country, and we're going to. The restrictions that are put on the police are so incredible. They're protecting the criminal. They're not protecting the police.
Brian, incredible report. Just to, first of all, to see where the funeral will be, get a sense of the context, the overwhelming support. What was it about this particular killing that has brought it such prominence? Is it both the simplicity of the stop, the brutality of the action, the valor of the individual, the policies? I mean, it's all come together, and then you get Kathy Hochul showing up, and she's run out of town.
It's everything we talk about every day. And think about Guy Rivera. This guy's been arrested spent 2 separate stints in jail. He's had 21 different violations.
Yeah.
He's a career criminal who had a gun 1 year after being off probation and was about to, it looks like, knock off one of these buildings there. And the guy driving with him is named Killer. It's everything we talk about. Don't put the criminals in jail. Emptied out Rikers Island, which people around the country know it's a major prison. At the same time, you got a Marine like Danny Penny who has to save a bunch of people on the subway, and he's being tried. It all is all wrapped up in the death of Jonathan Diller.
You know, Brian, this is your neck of the woods. You understand the people there. But has this situation, what Pete just described, seeing Kathy Hochul, as he said, run out of town, do you think that this is resonating maybe with people who did support Kathy Hochul, who did, you know, maybe were a little more ambivalent about, well, maybe this might work? Are you seeing a change, not in your community, but in New York, you know, area in general? Is there a change in their feelings about crime and how it should be handled?
I hope so. She has tried to pull back on the bail reform, push back from left-wingers in this state. Also, Mayor Adams has also said, guys, you got to let me put people in prison. He has not pushed hard enough, in my view, but he is getting pushback from the people in this state. But just show you how really numb to the reality. Governor Hochul asked to speak today in St. Rose and eulogize Mr. Officer Diller, and so did Letitia James. Both were rejected by the family. Is that insane? It's just nuts. I think they're trying in some diabolical way to try to say we're tough on crime too, but nobody's buying it.
Yeah. No, you can't have it both ways.
Wow, what an interesting
that is fascinating.
Detail and a lot of great on-the-ground information. Brian, I think we're going to come back to you later in the show as well. Thank you.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.